We've already seen him in the pictures. General Bipin Rawat, the CDS, is there as well, accompanying the Prime Minister in that visit. The Northern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi, he's in Leh as well. He's come to specially brief the Prime Minister, so he's going to be there. The 14th Corps Commander is going to be there as well, Lieutenant General Harinder Singh. He's the one who's been leading talks with the Chinese. So India's top military brass right now is in Leh at the Corps headquarters, will be briefing the Prime Minister about what exactly is the situation in eastern Ladakh, specifically the 5 flashpoints that have, where the crisis has gone on for the last 2 months. Yes, there have been multiple military level talks, but there hasn't been much progress. The situation, remains what it was 2 months ago. So the Prime Minister will be briefed on all of that. One of his one of the highlights, in fact, of his trip will be a visit to the Leh Hospital, Maha, where soldiers who were injured in the Galwan clash, and that is where things escalated. India lost 20 of its men, including Colonel Santosh Babu, the CEO of 16 Bihar. So the Prime Minister will be heading to the Leh Hospital as well to meet all those soldiers who were injured in that clash, to pat them on the back, to give them sabashi. It's a huge, you're right, when you talk about the fact that this is a huge morale booster. The Prime Minister communicates very well. We understand that. But he communicates especially well with soldiers. And this is something, we have seen over the years. He has decided to spend major festivals like Diwali with soldiers in forward areas. And, it may be a small gesture, but it means a lot to the soldier who's posted on the ground. Imagine the terrain that we are talking about. The Prime Minister right now is at 11,000 feet. Even the exercise of walking or breathing is difficult.
That's
here.
Right.
Where the Prime Minister is, temperatures plummet up to minus 30 degrees during the winter. In more forward locations in Leh, they go down to minus 50 degrees. This is a tough terrain. Winter's coming, and the winters in Ladakh are very, very cruel. All indications seem to suggest that the Indian Army at eastern Ladakh, deputed along the LAC, is in there for the long haul, because the Chinese have showed no intentions of stepping back or honoring their commitment, which means these soldiers will be posted here through the winter. That is the likelihood. That is the likelihood that the army is preparing for. For the Prime Minister to go there, say, I'm here as well, I'm with you, I'm backing what you do, that means a lot. In a cold place, Maha, this is a warm gesture.
Maria, take us through details of what you've picked up from your sources as to what, was the engagement of the Prime Minister in Nimmu itself.
Yes, here the Prime Minister was briefed by Army and ITBP officials. Senior officials, in fact, briefed the Prime Minister. Thereafter, he interacted with the soldiers. You can see that, that message, that image, the other one that we were showing on our television screens, Maha, of Prime Minister interacting with the soldiers. That in itself is a huge message. Whether an audio will be coming out, that remains to be seen. But certainly, we have seen a great degree of caution and restraint on the part of the Prime Minister as far as China is concerned. There has been no messaging other than what the government has done. So I think this in itself sends a message when about this visit we were largely told that it will be Raksha Mantri who will be traveling to Ladakh Leh on Friday, that is today. But that visit was cancelled yesterday, and we were told that it will be rescheduled at a later stage. But now with the Prime Minister himself arriving there, India so far has sent a message that
I'll have to interrupt you there for a bit. I believe Shreya is in conversation with General Atta Hasnain. Yes, go ahead, Shreya.
Thank you very much, Maha, for that. General Hasnain, thank you very much for your time here. We are seeing these pictures come to us from Nimmu, which is a forward location in Ladakh. The Prime Minister has made a surprise visit there. To you, when you see these pictures, what does it convey? What is the Prime Minister? What are these very powerful pictures conveying to the country and conveying to the enemy?
See, Shreya, in the world of media today, strategic messaging is undoubtedly one of the most important domains when it comes to such strategic standoffs between nations, particularly a border standoff of this kind. I think we have done a lot of strategic messaging so far. We have done economic strategic messaging also, as you've seen. But I think the significance of the Prime Minister's visit physically on the ground, there's a long old saying in the army that a recce on ground conveys much more than any amount of reading that you can ever do or anything else. So obviously his presence in the field, in the front lines and among the troops is a huge strategic messaging. The world is watching, China is watching. watching. There are lots and lots of nations who are going to take a cue from India on what India is ultimately going to do as far as response is concerned with China, China's attempt to bully us. So I think this is a very, very important message. And in terms of a morale booster, well, I can recall that many times I've had political visits in my career, and each time there's been a political visit in a situation which is slightly challenging, there is no doubt that the men get pepped up hugely. And that's the factor that we really look for a visit of this kind, besides all the other messaging which is going on.
Did it take you by surprise, General Hasnain, that the Prime Minister decided to visit Leh himself? Because it took most of us by surprise. You know, the visit was under wraps. Till yesterday, we had heard that Rajnath Singh, the Raksha Mantri of the country, would be going. Then for some reason, which we couldn't fathom, his visit was cancelled. And the next thing you know, you get a flash that the Prime Minister has already landed in Leh. Did it surprise you? And again, what does it convey to the army, to the troops? You've told us what it conveys to the enemy, what it conveys to the larger world, what the strategic messaging is. But specifically to the soldier on the ground, in the trenches, what does a visit like this mean for the man on the ground, the soldier on the ground, the soldier who's facing the enemy?
There's no doubt, Shreya, that if this visit had been announced 4 days ago, and then Mr. Modi would have reached Nimmu to this morning, the effect would never have been as much as it is being today, as what you're seeing today. A surprise visit, and he has taken even me by surprise, I'm sure. I can admit that. A visit of this kind, a surprise visit of this kind, definitely has a transformational effect, and the messaging is much stronger. As to your specific question about how the troops feel, let me tell you, most of these troops who he is visiting, a lot of people may perceive that these are rear troops, rear line troops, etc. Let me tell you, that's not true. These are troops who are all there ready to go in case there's a necessity at any time. And therefore, boosting up their morale and their capability. The morale, as you know, is a battle-winning factor. You can have everything. You can have weapons, ammunition, training, everything with you, every resource with you. But if your morale is not up to the mark and you feel low because of what has been happening on the line of actual control in terms of the news coming out and attempts by the Chinese to do various things, etc., there are chances that there could be low morale. But knowing the Indian Army, the generals and the various officers would have already got hold of the various aspects of morale. But if the Prime Minister's visit obviously is a transformational thing. It absolutely multiplies the entire effect of morale and motivation.
All right, General Hasnain, thank you very much for your time putting the visit and those pictures that we are seeing in perspective. I can also now go across to Vikramjit Singh. He's a defense expert, someone who's covered the Kargil war. He's joining us as well. Vikramjit, thank you very much for being here with us. You know, when we're looking at these pictures that are coming to us from Leh, they're coming to us from Nimmu as well. What do you make of it? You know, what is the message, according to you, the strategic messaging that it conveys to the world, to China, and to your own troops?
Well, I think, you know, the defense minister was supposed to go today, but he was, you know, he was not allowed to go or whatever, and the Prime Minister himself went. And now, Nimmu, where the Prime Minister currently is meeting the troops, is where, you know, the 8th Mountain Division was moved after the Kargil war, you know, the headquarters in a posture on the LOC with Pakistan. Nimmu is on the LOC posture with Pakistan. It is not on the LOC with China. So I think, you know, the Prime Minister is perhaps doing a strategic signaling to both Pakistan and China, because at the back of our minds, we have this, you know, apprehension of a 2.5 front escalation scenario. And we have some reports coming in of the Pakistanis moving 2 divisions into Gilgit-Baltistan and Chinese air exercises in Skardu. So I think the Prime Minister is possibly signaling on 2 fronts and choosing the Pakistan LOC posture as the venue of his visit. The second thing is that during the Kargil war, we had the Prime Minister Vajpayee and the Defense Minister going very frequently to the troops, you know. And George Fernandez, in fact, once flew in a very hazardous helicopter mission over Batalik, even when the Pakistanis had not totally been evicted from Batalik. And he was warned that you could be interdicted by fire, but he did go and fly over Batalik when the Pakistanis were still there in some lodgements. So I think the Prime Minister has also acknowledged by his visit that the situation is far more serious than the belief that, they've been paid, the Chinese have been given a lesson and they've been evicted and the transgressions are kind of over. So I think the situation is the visit is an acknowledgement that the situation remains grave, and perhaps one of the options that we now have is actually a forcible eviction of the Chinese, or an incursion into other frontiers of the Chinese on the LSE with China, because the Chinese are not willing to withdraw. They are entangling us in talks and buying time to entrench themselves. And Shreya noticed one very interesting thing, that wherever the Chinese have come in, they have put up their tents and colored tents and made maps on the ground, which are being very easily picked up by the satellite pictures. So, the Chinese are sending out a very clear, it's kind of made for the satellite imagery war. If in military coercion, what the Chinese are doing. So, it's very clear to everybody where the Chinese are. You can't hide it.
Correct. All right, Vikramji, thank you very much for your perspective. Thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. Maha, it's over to you. This is strategic signaling. As almost everyone is saying, this is strategic signaling to the world that India is serious about Chinese aggression at the LAC. This is a strategic signaling to China that the top leadership of the country knows that you've not been up to any good, that you've been talking, but you have not been walking the talk, as it were. And very importantly, it's also a signaling to your soldier who's on the ground facing the enemy that I'm here. I stand with you. I stand with what you're doing. I understand the sacrifice you're making, and not just me, the entire country understands and appreciates and salutes the sacrifice you're making for all of us. So lots of signals there, a lot of messaging there, 3 sets of pictures, but as they say, a picture is stronger than 1,000 words.
Absolutely. Let me go across now to Brigadier Vinod Datta for his perspective. Brigadier Datta, Shreya just pointed out that that the Prime Minister will, of course, also be meeting Lieutenant General Harinder Singh. He is the person who has been leading the Corps Commander meeting with Liu Lin from China. Now, help us understand through this, meeting and briefing today, will the Prime Minister also get a first-hand information from Lieutenant General Harinder Singh that the commitments that China has been making in 3 rounds of the Corps Commander meeting have not been fulfilled, and what exactly has transpired in those meetings?
Yeah, you are right. General Harinder, who's a GOC 14 Corps,
yes,
he is going to brief the Prime Minister in person. And it was really a very surprise, move by Prime Minister, because surprise is the better part of valor in defense forces. And it is also a strategic, a broadcast to the world that, yes, the Prime Minister is there with the troops and he's there right in the front. And what happens is Prime Minister is also going to be given, a windshield tour of the area, and he will be briefed in person about the nuances and the points which were discussed. There are points and various minutes which are recorded, but there are certain points which have to be conveyed to the Prime Minister. They can, they can be termed as the perceived points or the points which you visualize. I mean, they may not be discussed. They may be, assumed from the body language, from the environment, or reading between the lines. So the Prime Minister is going to be briefed by the Corps Commander in the presence of the Northern Army Commander. And fortunately, the Northern Army Commander, General Y.K. Joshi, Veer Chakra, he's also ex-14 Corps Commander. So it is a very, a very good team which is there in the northern sector. And the Prime Minister is also going to convey the directions or the feelings which the government has, so that they are communicated to the troops directly. So he is going to strengthen the military diplomacy And the strategic diplomacy which the Prime Minister and our Ministry of External Affairs has undertaken,
Yes.
it is showing the results. And if you see, the Chinese are now running helter-skelter. They are now trying to tap Al-Badr. They are trying to, carry out exercises, and their presence has been seen in Skardu or in Gilgit-Baltistan. So that is showing, there is commotion in the enemy camp. And the Prime Minister is going to reinforce the morale of the troops, because the man-machine mix supported by morale is a big, winning factor as far as the battles are concerned or the wars are concerned.
All right, let's get some more details of the Prime Minister's engagement today in Ladakh. Maria, any further updates that you're getting from Ladakh at the moment as to when the Prime Minister will be reaching Leh? All right, let me put that question to Shreya. We'll get Maria back on the line in a bit. Shreya, any further updates you're getting on his engagements in Ladakh? Where is he going to go from Nimu? Also, then what time is he likely to return to Delhi?
So it's a one-day trip. We are being told that he will be returning by late afternoon, early evening to Delhi. He flew in early in the morning. Now, one of the reasons why the Prime Minister's trip was kept under wraps, of course, there's a security issue involved. But what happens in Ladakh is, and anyone, who's traveled there will tell you this, Maha, that the weather tends to pack up at these heights within minutes. So you could be taking off, everything is cleared, and suddenly you're told the weather is not conducive for you to fly. And this is, after all, the Prime Minister of a country flying. So you can't simply take that risk with the weather. So one of the reasons I think why the entire trip was kept top secret was that you don't want the Prime Minister to publicly commit that he's going to Leh one day, and because the flight doesn't take off because of the weather, he hasn't been able to reach. Of course, the second big concern is a security concern. After all, this is the Prime Minister traveling. He's traveling in an area where you're seeing increased aerial activity, not just as far as India is concerned and India's fighter jets and helicopters are concerned, but on the other side, you're seeing increased combat patrols as well. So yes, there is a security aspect as well, because of which I think the entire trip took all of us by surprise. Now, I'm being told that his schedule is under wraps, but he's already had a briefing at Nimu, which is a forward location. It's some 35 kilometers, outside Leh, so that has already happened. Also on the plan is for the Prime Minister to be briefed by the top leadership of the Indian Army, which is accompanying him. So we have seen General Naravane accompany the Prime Minister. General Rawat has already reached there. In fact, he reached before General Naravane and before Prime Minister Modi reached there. The Northern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi, who just, by the way, is also a Kargil hero, someone who served during the Kargil war in these heights, he's there as well. He's going to brief the Prime Minister. Very importantly, Lieutenant General Harinder Singh, as Brigadier Vinod was saying, he's the 14 Corps Commander. He's the one who's been leading talks with the Chinese. He's going to be briefing the Prime Minister as well. Now, what exactly will the Prime Minister want to know? 3-4 questions. Where exactly is the standoff taking place? Is it in 4 points? Is it in 5 points? How far are our troops and Chinese troops from each other? What is the commitment that the Chinese are making? After all, there have been 3 co-commander level talks. They have gone back making commitments and not delivered on them. So the Prime Minister will want to know if there are commitments made on the Chinese side, if they have agreed for a buffer zone between troops at flashpoints. Why has that not happened? One of the questions I think the Prime Minister will also be asking the top leadership is, how was it possible for the Chinese to come in sometimes, it's for the Chinese to come in and intrude into Indian territory? Why did we not detect such a large movement? So these are questions, and there are going to be some uncomfortable questions that the Prime Minister is going to ask the Indian Army. But after that, very importantly, we are also being told, and those pictures should be coming out as well, is that the Prime Minister will be visiting soldiers, and there were 76 soldiers who were injured in the Galwan Valley clash on the 15th. They are currently at the Leh hospital with varying degrees of injuries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting them as well for a shabashi, to say, boys, well done. As you do know, Maha, the Indian government is now very clear. Whatever rules and protocols that were in existence as far as the LAC management is concerned, as far as the border management with China is concerned, all of them have flown down the Galwan River after the clashes in Galwan Valley. We've seen how bloody they have been. Now the clear direction from the political leadership has been, boys, if you need to open fire. Yes, there was a protocol that said you can carry your guns during patrol, but jo bhi ho jaye, fire mat karna, because it leads to an escalation.
Yes.
Now the escalation has already happened. There is a clear directive from the political leadership, and this directive comes right from the top. It comes from the Prime Minister himself, that in case there is an escalation like Galwal, don't think of the protocols, don't think of the rules, do what is best for you,
Right.
do what is best for your men, more importantly, do what is best for your country. So, you know, the Prime Minister has strengthened the hands of the Indian Army by that one direction. Yesterday, we have seen the Defence Acquisition Council has cleared projects worth 40,000 crore rupees. You know, that itself will be a big morale booster to the forces to see that they have more ammunition coming in, they have more fighter jets coming in, they have more missiles coming in, etc. Of course, they'll come in only in the next 2-3 years. That's another issue altogether. But the pictures that we have on our screens, Maha, this is strategic messaging. You know, this is a message to the world that India has taken a serious position as far as China's bullying is concerned, as far as China's aggression is concerned. And we are seeing this aggression not just at the LAC, Maha, as you've been reporting. We've been seeing Chinese bullying and aggression in the South China Sea as well. China shares its borders with 14 countries, but has territorial disputes with 18 countries. Figure that out. So you know what their hegemonic aspirations are.
Yes.
India is telling the world, we have the Prime Minister, the leader of the country in Ladakh, where Indian and Chinese troops are engaged in a face-off for the last 2 months. We are standing up to this bullying. This is a message to the world. This is a message to China. But like everyone is saying, also a message to your own troops, to that one soldier with one gun in the extreme cold and heights of Ladakh to say, "Main bhi yahan hoon, main tumhare saath hoon." You know, just for the Prime Minister to come and have a samosa with you, or have a cup of tea with you, or ask about your children. Can you imagine what a big morale booster that is for the man on the ground?
Okay. All right. Shreya, just hold on to your thoughts there. We are getting some updates now. The Prime Minister is going to be meeting the Home Minister